For years, many wrestling games gave you different ways to create superstars. But the thing is, no matter how many ways they gave you ways to make the look of your superstar a certain way, the entrances, the championships, there was always one thing missing: creating your own story. Because sometimes you don't just want to make a wrestling game, you actually want to play out the story that only you can come up with. And in 2009, the next installment of the SmackDown vs. Raw series finally gave you that opportunity. I am talking about SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, the WWE game where, up until this point, gave you the most creative freedom. Now, before we begin, normally I would ease into the main selling point of this game, which for those who don't know is story designer, or create a story, however you want to call it. However, we're going to switch things up a little bit because of the essentially the sandbox nature of this mode. Me talking about it now might delay everything else I had planned for this stream, so what we're actually going to do is the reverse. We're going to save the main selling point of this game on the later half of this stream, so that way I can go over everything I want to go over, because there's so much stuff to this game besides obviously create a story. Because once we get into create a story, we're pretty much going to be stuck in there. So I just want to go over everything else I have to say before we get into the main selling point of this game. So just switch things up a bit. I know for those who have been watching either live or on demand, that's how I normally start. But because of and you guys will see, because of how in depth this mode is, it has to be saved once I get through everything. So hopefully you guys understand and enjoy. With that said, SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 once again came out on the Xbox 360, the PS3, the Wii, the PS2, the PSP, and the DS. However, there's been a switch up this time around. The Xbox 360 and PS3 were the first games to use the new Havoc engine that THQ and Ukes wanted to use for the wrestling games moving forward. And this engine would essentially be the same engine that they'll be using all the way up to 2K20. Yes, even when the new developers get it, which we'll get into once we get there, they were still using at least some part of the Havoc engine that started in this game, and we'll be showcasing that in a little bit. So obviously the Xbox 360 and the PS3 versions are the superior systems because of that. As for the Wii and the PS2, and to a point the PSP, they will continue just to use the SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 engine up until their final games in their series, once we get to that. And also, this is the final wrestling game, well, at least in terms of the main WWE series on Nintendo DS. There will be one more game to come out on the 3DS in terms of a WWE game, but this is the last one in the main series. I will never understand why they made this decision. Just so you know, this was the only system where Ukes wasn't actually developing it. They actually gave it to another company. I just don't remember the name off the top of my head. But for the amount of sales the DS got, you would think that they would still want to make games for the systems. It just doesn't make any sense. And for the most part, people enjoyed the handheld experience of the SmackDown vs. Raw series. Obviously, 08 was a rough start, but 09 and then 010, people actually praise a lot about how it went with the game, even though it was very basic with the touchscreen and moving around. Like, they made it work, and it was a interesting experience on the go. I just would never understand why for the DS they stopped right here with SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 in terms of the main series. But yeah, SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, as I alluded to, the whole theme of this game is about creating your own world. In fact, that's the tagline: it's your world now. And I like how much confidence that they had in this, because they're selling the creation stuff is literally on top of everything else. That's what I just found that fascinating. It's your superstar, your moves, your story. As I mentioned in yesterday's stream, I personally feel like, in my view, SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 was just put out there for the sole sake of just putting out a WWE game every single year. They were kind of forced at this point. Maybe they're not. They didn't have like a gun to their head forced, but it was just tradition just to have some type of wrestling game. But I feel like the actual vision that they wanted was going to take an additional year, and then with SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, they finally was able to get that vision. Again, with the box, it shows again story designer, enhanced creative superstar, which we will get into. Essentially, we're going to go through each part of the creation suite leading up to culminating it all in story designer. Superstar threads, which was a huge one. I want to show you how huge it was. And a expanded creative finisher. Now you can actually do moves off the top rope. So any crazy imagination that the game can handle, you could probably throw it in there. There's an updated Royal Rumble, new WrestleMania storylines involving, again, creating your superstar, which that's probably out of all of them we're going to look at today. We're probably just going to look at that one just for timing, because again, the vast majority of this stream is probably going to be focused on story design once we get to it. New rivalries thing, which I will show you briefly, and then a bunch of other stuff, including a new match type. So yeah, I just found it personally interesting how the focus of this game, by the way, this was the last game to have the naming featuring ECW. I know I never really mentioned that, again, after just simply by passing in SmackDown versus Raw 2008. But yeah, this is the last time in terms of branding ECW's mentioned. They are in SmackDown versus Raw 2011, but there's the branding wise, they're done. And I mean, this was like pretty much the final full year of ECW. They were gone as a brand by the time SmackDown versus Raw 2011 came out. So yeah, there's that. And just personally, for when I was a kid, I was so hyped for this game because, for one, this was the first game I was finally playing on the Xbox 360. For those who watched my earlier streams, I said the SmackDown versus Raw series was mainly on PS2 for me. 2009 was the last one because I was pissed that I couldn't get the DLC characters. Like Evan Bourne was one of my favorites at the time. I was just mad I couldn't play as him because I had the inferior system. I thought everyone liked the PS2, but apparently that wasn't the case. So I was fine with that. I got moved to the Xbox 360. Little did I know there was no DLC. So it was like all that was for nothing. Well, there was technically one DLC character. Kind of. Is he really a DLC character if he's already on the disc? We'll talk about that. So 1 second. One thing I'd actually like to show you guys. Give me a second here. Gotta make sure. Alright. So this YouTube video, credit to MAB, which is just stole a video from IGN. They're showing off unfortunately I can't really show you this because I highly doubt anyone's in there and I don't have Xbox Gold anymore. The community creation. So, you know, the people who are familiar with these games have community creations. It started in this game. This was, if you're wondering where this community creations, where you can upload your superstar, move sets and whatnot, it started right here, the SmackDown Raw 2010. Oh, what's up, Slade? This game was great. I was so honest to God, I feel bad for this game because once 2011 came out, if it wasn't for the physics engine in SmackDown versus Raw 2011 and the expanded Hell in a Cell, I would probably been playing SmackDown versus Raw 2010 a lot more because it was so good. Especially, I really enjoyed the creative superstar Road to WrestleMania, which we'll probably showcase, because it felt like for the first time you weren't just shoehorned into a season mode. It was intentionally. That's why I like the Road to WrestleMania series. They are specific stories pertaining to specific superstars that will only work for those specific superstars. So that I really felt like the creative wrestler one. It was basically essentially what I'm trying to say is, if My Rise would to take an approach of how they did this creative superstar Road to WrestleMania, I'll be more of a fan of My Rise. I feel like the issue with My Rise, they're just throwing anything at the wall, and they're kind of just recycling stuff that they think makes sense for a creative wrestler, but it doesn't. It's just, and the voice acting is so great because, like, again, Ukes and THQ were making wrestling games for wrestling fans. They knew their audience because, in fact, they were fans. Maybe not on the THQ side per se. Probably Corey Ledesma and definitely Brian Williams, who still, thankfully, he is. If it wasn't for him so far working on a series, I don't know where the series would be at. And the people at Ukes, who were a Japanese company, they made wrestling games before getting the WWE license. They knew what they were doing. They're fans of the product, so you can show it in their work. But yeah, community creators, just show off real quick. This was the archaic back in the day. You think you guys have it good now? This is what we pretty much had back in the day. Actually, yeah. You just upload and download. I think you were able to sort it out at certain points. Let me see. Yeah, you see, create. Yeah, so this is how they sort it out. Just simple, basic menu. Create a superstar, create a finisher. Unfortunately, that's not in the game nowadays. Story designer, highlight reel. That's so crazy. You can't even upload highlight reel videos anymore. Now that I think about it, isn't that crazy? You can upload screenshots. That is so. Oh my god. How is it that a game? This is so crazy. How is that a game that came out in 2009 on the Xbox 360 and PS3 will allow you to upload highlight clips and screenshots, but not? We can't do it in the modern games. That makes no sense. I guess their logic is everyone's on social media, so y'all just see it anyway. But still, social media existed back then. I mean, not as scale as it is now, but yeah, same thing like the keyword system. Still 3 keywords to this day. How have they not managed? I have a theory about all of this, and we'll get to. I feel like the feelings of the current developers when it comes to legacy modes like this. I love story designer mode. I don't know if you was here earlier, but when I first started the stream, because of how in-depth this mode is, we're going to say story design at the very end. Normally I start off with the main selling point. We're going to show it off at the very end because we're probably going to get lost in it. So I got to make sure I cover everything I need to cover. And then we're just going to nosedive right into story design. But yep, you can rate the creations that are uploaded. I had to type it out. Oh, that'd be... Oh man, the struggle of using your Xbox controller when you couldn't afford the the keyboard. You had to type out everything, but it was worth it. And it's showing off create a superstar. Right here, you can rate it, all that good stuff. Shows off the finisher. Everything's great. Everything's great. One moment. So, my apologies. The first thing we are actually going to do. Oh, it got off. The first thing we're actually going to do is first, I want to show you the training facility. So for those who are new to the game, they obviously thought this through, and I appreciate them. Especially for those who are not used to the controls, they gave us training facility. So now, anytime you go in the main menu, you can just practice without going into the game. In terms of the play mode, again, there's 2 brand new match types. Well, kind of. They say Royal Rumble is new. Obviously, he's been in the games before, but they actually updated for the first time in like forever, literally forever. It's more of the mini games that you see in the current game started with the SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. But the match we're actually going to play right now, just to showcase the gameplay itself, is the new Championship Scramble. Because I don't know why it's not in the current games. It just never makes any sense. For this demonstration, we are going to take Randy Orton. Or at least try to take Randy Orton's title. Or Christian. Why not? I like Christian. We're going to use the ECW title. I changed my mind. And we're going to play as Christian. We're actually going to defend the ECW title. And it's going to be random. We'll just randomize everyone. Finley. Green. Why not? Green. Great Khali. Why not? This is going to be the most interesting championship scramble of all time. And John Morrison. We're not going to take this seriously. Isn't no qualification in? Yeah, I'm about to say it has to be. And I knew that was, it had to be, obviously. It has to be no qualifications championship scramble. Again, the abilities are still in this game, so only certain superstars have certain abilities. I forgot exactly which game they dropped it. Again, they're going over the rules, 5 minutes. So essentially every minute, a new superstar is going to come out. And when there's a pinfall or submission, you're the current champion, and you have to stay champion until the end of the 5 minutes. And then after that, whoever is the champion is considered the champion. So, in my case, I pretty much have to make sure no one gets a pin. In the first game since SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, that Christian's back. Green, I forgot about he's playable. And unfortunately, red and green, for those who don't know, red and green has been a staple in the game series at this point, where they would be the default dummies to be used in create a moveset. This was the first and only game that they decided, you know what, they are, and they could put them as legends. They should have put them as legends. I would personally. And the strategy guide is funny. In the actual strategy guide, that's how much I love this game. This was the only WWE game I actually bought the strategy guide for. I love how they showed the ECW title over there, even though Christian had it. It's just one of those things where they didn't think that through, but it's okay. I forgive them. And hot take, I actually had no problem with the design of the ECW title. I thought it was cool. Yes, I know the days of the hardcore design of it was over, but I personally had no issue with design. And some superstars look great with it, like Christian and Jack Swagger look great with the titles. Like, it just worked for the era. What else was I saying? Yeah, I actually had the official strategy guide of this game, and red and green, I'm like 90% sure that I'm remembering correctly, they were classified as legends, even though in the game they're just free agents. But in the actual strategy guide, they were classified legends. I was like, yep, you damn right they are. I've been seeing them for years. They finally got the recognition that they deserve. I think it's the first time I ever even showcasing Great Khali, even though he's been in the game since like 2007. Goddamn, he's huge. Yeah, and like, goddamn, he's huge. What is your favorite memory about this game? I'm assuming it's story designer. What was your favorite parts about making stories in this game? Or what was the craziest stories you made in this game? Of course, I gotta fight Khali. I gotta survive 4 minutes. And essentially make sure no one takes me title. Now, for the most part, I could just ignore Khali. Oh, thanks for a new subscriber, Kyvan. I appreciate you subbing to the channel. Don't know if you're actually in here or not. Damn it. And I always miss the way that they hold these chairs. I wish they would hold them like this again. I'm like 90% sure. Just making random ass stories I forgot about what they were. You see, I wasn't that creative with my creative superstar. I just like using Christian and telling his. I made ECW actually worth watching. And I think I did one like elimination build up to the Elimination Chamber back in the day. Oh, Red is already here. I forgot it's only 5 minutes. So again, my goal is to just make sure they don't take my title. But the one thing I want to point out as we're playing this, I'm probably going to forget, due to the new engine that they did, they decided to update the presentation. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen in this type of match, but in one-on-one matches specifically, they changed the camera angles. It's like a dynamic camera angle change. Sometimes, depending on where you're angled, it will show the stage at some point. And then other times, it just, depending on where you're angled, they will change the camera. And then also, another update to the Havoc engine is just the collisions. So, more accurately, when stuff hits, they normally hit people. You get bruises now on the bodies. This was like, wondering like when people get red on their chest, or they get bruised up, it actually started in this game. I think a lot of people tend to forget that. I just got to make sure no one steals my title. Is this the last game to have Finley too? I think this is also the last game to have Finley. I don't recall him being in I do not recall him being in SmackDown versus Raw 2011. It was actually a last for a lot of superstars. This is the last for the Great Khali. This is the last for, holy crap, I just realized I'm in a ring with a bunch of last people right now. And then John Morrison. This is Great Khali's last game. This is Green's first and only game, and I am like 90% sure this is Finley's last game, because I do not recall him being in SmackDown versus Raw 2011. Yeah, Christian was my main player of this game. John Morrison is taking his sweet time. I'm pretty sure I know a diving ability. Come on. At least a running. Come on, Christian. You had to know. Yeah, this was the game where you can actually yep, let's see. He knows pull back attacks, possum pin, springboard. Does he not know outside dives? Of course he doesn't. durability, object specialist, and hammer throw. I actually, now that I think about it, I believe SmackDown's Raw 2011 is the last one to have these abilities. Everyone else just has everything. So far, thankfully, no one was able to pin, so I should be good in terms of keeping my ECW title. Thankfully. And then gameplay wise is essentially the same exact way. For this game and the next game, they play exactly the same way. I guess they were, and I think that's why they personally went the direction they went with this game. They were confident enough in the gameplay that there was no need to update anymore. They could actually focus on other parts of the game, and that's why I feel like they went full on creation. That was one thing that definitely needed to be updated, because for the most part, Create a Superstar hasn't been updated since, I believe, the original SmackDown versus Raw. So it's been a minute. And unfortunately, they removed stuff that never got brought back, like Create. No. Oh, I hit the ref. I was about to hit him. But hey, hitting the ref also works. What's his finish? What's Christian's other finisher? No, I'm not quitting the match. Does it not talk about his finisher? Oh, I guess we're only allowed to see abilities. This isn't the game where you actually look at the actual superstar. I know the kill switch for 3, 2, 1. They really need to bring this back, and they also need to stop screwing around and bring out Iron Survivor. There's 5-man matches in the current games as well, so it makes no sense. Red pants equals joke, black pants equals monster. Red pants equals joke, black pants equals monster. Are you talking about the superstar threads? Or am I, there's a joke going over my head? But you actually, that is a nice segue. Like to turn off intros? No. We're actually going to talk about the superstar threads in a second, but before we do that, update to the superstar management. So before, again, this is very early universe mode / what it is in the current games. It's just, again, you can change the reaction, their brand affiliation, even though really back then this didn't mean anything anymore. The world title, you could fight with whatever title you wanted. And yes, this was Primo. Even though they did not have double title entrances, this was the time where the I'm talking about the Great Khali about that comment. Oh, gotcha. You're right though. But no, okay, yeah, because Khali did become a joke after a while. Was it because he was wearing red pants? Did he become the Punjabi playboy when he started wearing red pants? If that's the case, that completely went over my head. So same thing here, tag team management. Tag teams in this game was DiBiase and Rhodes, Legacy. Yeah, this was still where you had to separate everything, even though if they were a team or not. You had to keep making different variations of the team instead of having just one complete stable. Carlito and Primo, Glamorella. It's interesting how this is a thing, despite the fact that there's no intergender wrestling in here. That's very fascinating to me. How did this work? I have no idea. Crime Time, the Bella Twins. Yes, the Bellas made their debut in this game, and they were part of the ECW roster. But the new thing is the rivalry system. So, or not said the rivalry system, the rivals. You can tell they were slowly planting the seeds to what would become the biggest feature in the next game, which we'll talk about tomorrow. You know, they for the past 2 games, they were slowly building it up, and then it culminated into the mode that they created in the next game. So again, the rivalry system, this is where the allies and enemies. So when you're in universe mode nowadays and you see who pick your allies or rivalries, it started in this game. Did you watch WrestleMania? Michael, yes, I did. Actually, yes, I did. I watched it late because I actually started this event on Friday, So I was streaming while WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday was on, but I was able to watch it in the morning once I woke up. My thoughts, as I said yesterday, but you weren't here, so but thank you for stopping by. They were both great shows. Obviously, one was vastly superior than the other, but it has nothing to do with the wrestlers. Just sometimes a certain card is going to be better than the other night, and obviously Sunday blew Saturday out the way. But I think so. Overall, here's my thoughts. Overall, WrestleMania Sunday was a better show, but my personally match of the week, I know people will say Roman and CM Punk, but I feel like it had also to do with the story. But in terms of pure wrestling, match of the night hands down was, or match of the week was hands down Seth Rollins versus Gunther. They literally stole the show for me. Despite, and I know people craft on that rivalry because it came out of nowhere. To be fair, it did, but you had to look at the situation of people getting injured and whatnot. But they literally stole the show with that match. It made the WrestleMania Saturday show worth it. But I would still give the entire event to WrestleMania Sunday and Roman Reigns and CM Punk. I remember the Kali Kiss Cam segments. They were something. Again, the PG eras, what you were talking about yesterday, where they had great stories. There was other stuff that was like, it's for kids. It is what it is. They're just making jokes. Ha ha ha. Funny, funny. So you're just quickly looking at the rivalry system, getting allies, enemies. It's pretty much the same stuff that you would see in the current games, but just on the show, it started right here. And then the highlight, well, we already talked about. I didn't make a highlight reel thing yet. So we just show you, because this is the last game I believe that has career mode. They didn't change anything about it. It's still the same crap. Well, sure, why not use William Regal? It's still the same thing. I don't know why they decided to keep it here. And yes, Goldust is back in the game. It's still here. There's basically no difference. I don't know why that game is classic. You're referring to SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. So if this is the first time you're stumbling upon my channel and stream, first off, thank you. This is a 25-day event where we're going through the entire history of the wrestling games to see how we got to the current game 2K26. I'm not going to be streaming 2K26 at the end. I'm just telling the story of how we got there, so people can really see the evolutions of the game, what we lost, what we gained, all that good stuff, and just talking about the good old days, hopefully along the way, just having conversations like this. I'm assuming you played SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, so tell me what system did you play it on, and what was your favorite part about this game? I'm assuming story designer. So if you're waiting for that, I already said at the beginning of the stream, that's going to be the later half of it. I just want to go over everything I need to go over, because once we get in that mode, we're pretty much stuck in there. But yeah, career mode died in this game because there is a brand new mode that I think was the best replacement they could possibly do with this. So this was just their last hurrah of that PS2, the John Cena part. Oh, so you had the PS2 version. Tell me about that. Was it? I mean, I upgraded from SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 on PS2 to the Xbox 360 for 2010. I think for the most part they play the same. It's just because of the Havoc engine on the Xbox 360 and PS3. It's just, besides the fact that it looks graphically better, it was just slight differences, and then like the creative stories, there were limitations on the PS2, but I think for the most part they were the same. So we're gonna create a superstar, because we're gonna for the purpose of this, we're gonna do from scratch, because I really want to show off it was awesome. So it pretty much stay the same. I'm gonna create a superstar here. I'm not gonna use a template. We're gonna try to speed run through this though, because the one thing I want to mainly show you, I have to switch screens here. While there is great things about this mode, there's a drawback. There's the remaining points. This was the game, so wondering why the current games have like a point system. It started here. I think because due to the Havoc engine and the amount of depth the creations that they were putting in now, they were trying to make them realistic to the superstars of the actual games instead. I mean, just like the actual game, the actual wrestlers in real life, they had to make sure, I guess, the polygon count, or however much parts you put on there, can load the game. I'm assuming that's why they had the point system. But we're just gonna pick face one. Why not? Head, hair. I'm not that bald. I wonder if they have some part of my hairstyle right now. But normally back in the day, I never even actually tried to create myself. I just created Dragon Ball Z characters. Like, well, in Day of Reckoning, let me rephrase that. Day of Reckoning, where I created my Dragon Ball Z characters. That is not my hair. At least I would like to say that's not my hair. If they don't have it, we're just going to speed run through this just quickly. Okay, they don't have my hairstyle. Which is fine, and I refuse to be bald. So, we're just going to go to default here, but you can change the color, all that good stuff. Face, we'll keep the facial hair, makeup, tattoos. Face paint, just showing off that. And unfortunately, yes, it does cost certain. Once you start adding more stuff, there is a cost to it. The body. I haven't weighed myself in a while. I'm not gonna lie, I probably weigh around here. Can I change the height? Why can I? Oh wait. So 5. Even though I'm not that interesting, so they tied the height. Okay, I'm not that. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. it is what it is. Okay, we're just gonna get to the clothing. So the thing is, again, with them updating the Havoc engine, I actually know, I do recall this, and looking it up, the Road to WrestleMania for the Creative Superstar on the Wii and PS2 versions and PSP, because the Havoc engine on the Xbox 360 and PS3 added some more stuff. One of the suits in that mode, they had to do something completely different on the older gen systems, I believe. There's like a chicken suit in the Xbox 360 and PS3 version, but they had to do something completely different in the last gen version. I guess they couldn't handle a chicken suit. I don't know. Did I wear a mask? Probably not. Oh, that's man. Oh, I mean, kind of Mankind's mask. That's actually not that bad. Oh, precursor to Cody Rhodes' oh my god, they had Cody Rhodes' Nightmare mask before he became the American Nightmare, starring this game. Who would have thought? Huh, funny how that works. We'll just use base wrestling attires. It's supposed to be Goldust's outfit. Yep. At least they don't discriminate. You can wear his women's clothing. Yeah. It's just so crazy. We're just gonna wear a basic shirt. I'm gonna look like a bum when we go through it. Actually, why not? Yeah, we're just gonna look like a bum going out there. You can tell my creativity is very limited. Or I could just wear it. And now the outfits suck. Is that Kill Bill? I always now I remember. I always used to wear Matt Hardy's jacket. This used to be my main outfit back in the SmackDown version. Oh my god, this is bringing back so much memories. I used to wear the Matt Hardy jacket. Huh. Where's the lower body? I gotta have some type of bottoms. Is there a black jeans option? Yeah, this looks so stupid. Sure. We need some type of footwear. Socks. No, I mean, who cares about the socks? Oh, actually, I think we're already out. I think we're out of hold up. I think we're out of points. Interesting. Wilking, yeah, I do. I think we're actually out of points. I was hearing something. I wonder if I could. So I can't. Interesting. Let me take off the jacket then. Delete. Yeah, we're actually out of points. I need to wear some shoes. I mean, again, I'm not really doing it the correct way. This really did not stop most people, honest to God. People still created some good stuff with the limited amount of points. So I'm just not doing it the right way. I'm just throwing anything at the wall, to be honest with you. God, these jeans suck. If the stuff is, yeah, these jeans are not good. Which means I gotta wear sneakers. Never mind. I'm wearing sneakers. Sorry about delaying all of this, guys. I just wanted to put some type of outfit before we get into Road to WrestleMania, because I believe this is the only Road to WrestleMania, by the way, that Have quick time events. Entrance attire. I guess I could have done that. No. Edit ring attire. Can I just copy? No. Wait a minute. This is the ring attire. You like to copy the current attire? Hold on, no. But I like to copy the current attire, yes, and copy it to the entrance. Did I just delete? Are you serious? No. Oh my god. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I did all that work for nothing. Can't read. It's cool though. Can't even spell my name right. Actually. Sure, whatever. Superstar. Oh, this is fine. We created something. We created someone. I did all that effort just to create the person that they default with anyway. Imagine that. Yeah, one weird thing, the created superstar data was always a separate memory data in these games, like SmackDown versus Raw. Or I think all the way to 2K14. For some reason, the created superstar data was always separated. So Road to WrestleMania, I believe I got a. They're gonna screw me. We have Edge, Shawn Michaels, Brand Warfare with Triple H and John Cena, which is strange because they could have put Big Show in there as well because ECW, but I guess who cares? Randy Orton and Mickie James. Just note on Mickie James. Wow. The idea of Mickie James' story is like fascinating in hindsight. Because I guess the idea of women having a women's Royal Rumble or women main eventing stuff was just far-fetched from them. And to be fair, that was the environment at the time. I don't blame them for thinking that. So they put it in a video game, like, well, at least we'll be in a video game. Little did they know it would eventually come in real life. Yes, there would be a women's Royal Rumble, but the fantasy of that would be in this. So if you wanted a what if women were actually taken as equal to the men, it started with Mickie James' Road to WrestleMania. Randy Orton is just crazy, and his Shawn Michaels is like, they kind of alluded Shawn Michaels' retirement in this one before it actually happened, which I found fascinating. And Edge, I believe something to do with Mr. Kennedy. I think it's very weird. Mr. Kennedy's the WWE champion in this one, or World Heavyweight Champion. I believe it is the WWE title. Very fascinating. Raw, SmackDown, ECW, but we're going to use the creative superstar.
This is my road to WrestleMania.
Sure. Can't show this. My apologies, guys. We're just going to have to wait. Again, we're just going to go to the very first match. I always just thought it was cool the way, like, the intro of your Road to WrestleMania was very cool. I also realized I could just skip it. Who would have thought? I could just skip it. I didn't realize that was not an option. Please tell me there's no no, they just do not care that I actually, in the settings I literally said no music, and yet they still give me music. So if you can't read the captions, they're talking about Santino. Again, I wish I could show you guys, but I just don't understand. I literally put in the settings, no music. There we go. Again, this is very, I think this is like one of the most unique openings to any WWE game. Again, this is first person point of view. You're watching. This is like so cool. That's why I said I really enjoyed this story. Or so they're playing the entrance music, but again, in this point of view, you're watching the crowd. For those who are unaware, this is pretty much how Santino Marella debuted, and they're going to do the exact same thing. But it's just cool from looking at it from this point of view. You don't get this in any other WWE game, not even in the next one. Whoops.
But baby, Santino Marella is golden. I am the greatest intercontinental champion of all the times. Better than Rodney the Piper.
Rodney the Piper.
Better than Bret the Heartman.
Santino's funny.
Better than T-Ball Santana. Arriba! No one on Raw has been able to be a winner against me. And no one will. This arena is full of losers who could not fight their way out of a wet sack made out of paper. Does anyone want some of Santino Marella? Huh? How about you? I would beat you, stupid. But I think someone already beat me to it. And this guy here. You fell out of the tree of ugliness and hit every branch on the way down. Why don't you come in here and share the ring with the real campione?
You see, you press A and you get out.
Did you sell your manhood for that?
I could have just let him talk and he probably would have said a lot more dialogue, which I completely clearly forgot. And then this is how you start. Yes, this is how someone was actually standing in the crowd. Not my fault. I wasted like 5 minutes creating a wrestler and they deleted it all. I can't read. That's why. That's all my fault. That's why we look like this. Oh, yeah, I don't have any abilities either, so I'm kind of like, I'm out of luck here. What is my finisher? I wonder what they gave the default finisher. Oh, I guess CM Punk's Anaconda Vice. Again, this was when you couldn't check. What is your, okay, so I have a running signature. Okay. But what's my finisher? I think what I really like about the story is that it wasn't actually focused on the WWE title. It was just focused on just a very interesting take of your creative super. It felt natural, I guess is the best way of putting it. They didn't shoehorn you into the main title picture in this story. It was just focused on a new guy just accidentally being part of the WWE show. Way more grounded and realistic. Alright, this net breaker should do it. Or not. And he reversed it. Okay. That should do it.
1, 2, 3.
And now I am the Intercontinental Champion. So I like the idea that now they're not talking, even though I purposely put in the settings that they shouldn't be talking. I guess the cinematic parts they have to play so the story can progress when it comes to quick time events, so it made sense. Then it is what it is. And yes, this is how you your stats get updated. Very cool. Very, very cool. I think this is the only game that actually did it like this. Let me see if there's any other cutscenes in it tonight. 1 second. I just want to see if there's actual, like, an original cutscene. Yeah, I think it is with this. But then we'll exit out of it.
Come in.
Your security almost didn't let me in, Mr. McMahon. I thought they were going to use the rubber glove on Santino's tender bottom. Where were they when that ruffian charged the ring and gave me a cheap shot, huh?
And that's another thing. Again,
Santino.
unfortunately, as we're gonna let this cutscene play out, I'm looking at these cutscenes.
I can't have people coming out of
See how dynamic they are, and they actually made them. Now with my ride, they just stand at certain spots, and unless it's in the ring, all the cutscenes are just them standing and just talking. Nothing actually happens unless it's a cutscene in the ring or in one of the actual arenas that are playable. They actually took the time to mocap all of this. Like this is my point.
That Intercontinental Championship belongs to Santino, so give it back.
The championship is WWE property, and you will return it now.
And then again, another quick time. Either I give it to Santino or I give it to
I am
McMahon.
the rightful campione, you fool.
I'm gonna give it to Vince. And that's how Vince has his problem.
It's about time I hit the old dusty trail.
Again, regardless, he sounds like Baron Corbin, by the way.
Mr. McMahon, are you all right?
No thanks to you, you gutless coward. Well, what am I paying you two for? Go get our cocky little intruder.
I don't remember. Wait, so what's happening here? Oh, he hired Vladimir and Ezekiel Zach. So he just hired ECW people to do the job. Fascinating. But again, just wanted to show you that. Because this was the only one that was specifically creative story, Road WrestleMania. I know there's an option for versus The Undertaker and then the last one with WWE 12. But I consider this one like just very unique. Where it was specifically made as for your creative superstar. Like you weren't shoehorned into pretending like you were already part of the WWE roster. You were just a random fan. That's why I think I really like this. Am I not exiting the? I'm trying to get out the mode. I love the idea, sort of. I love the idea that I exited my locker room, so I still had to fight Vladimir. I like to think that they're just waiting for me outside. That is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, we're just gonna quit and continue without saving. Maybe we'll go to this another time. But to sidetrack a little bit, just wanted to show you, as I said, because of the Havoc engine, there's actually very differences between the current gen and last gen version of this game. Outside the menu, of course. Wish the guy would get to the point. Okay. There we go. So here it is, side by side, the Xbox 360 and PS3. First off, obviously part of it has to do with the resolution, but and the size ratio. But you see, John Cena's way. I think they made him more truer to size instead of like a bulk, because the Havoc engine is more realistic superstar sculpting, I guess is the best word describing it. Instead of them all just being big and bulky for no reason, more of the superstars are more accurate to how they should be. Thanks to the engine. And again, the titles now, they look a tad bit better. Again, I will always say the details, I prefer the actual detail in the old gen version. It's just, it was too bright in the current. They really didn't get the WWE title right until 12 in terms of how it actually should look detail wise. I feel like they had the right detail in the old games and it was just missing in the next gen versions. I love how they're basically using the same belt from SmackDown versus Raw 2006. They have not updated in the slightest. It just looks more accurate to me, the last gen version. Again, just gameplay. If you just saw the PS3 version, I'm going to show you the actual PS2 version. Again, PS2 version, essentially the engine from SmackDown versus Raw 2009. And this is going to be pretty much how it's going to look like all the way to 13 in terms of PS2 and the Wii. And in terms of graphics wise and how it's looked, it's going to be using SmackDown versus Raw 2009. So it's pretty much as good as it's going to look, just with an updated roster. Just want to showcase that. Also, I found something that I want to show you guys. I know I listed off the system, but there was one more of the system that SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 came out. I think you had a control where you can spin the title, but I don't think it's in this one. Yeah, 2007 was the last one you could do it. They took it out because, just like in real life, around 2007, I think the second Triple H got the title, or no, when Randy Orton got the title, they took out the spinning feature of the actual belt, so they just made it permanently stay there. So after SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, you couldn't spin the title anymore, which sucked because I always like spinning it. I actually found something very interesting. Yes, SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 did come out on iOS, the iPhone 4, and this is how it looked. It's a sight to see. Let me tell you. So as a guys, it is a sight to see. Just wanted to quickly show you this. So again, play options, career. I have no idea what the career even is with this game. So I don't know if there's an emulator of this. That's how Batista looked. That's how John Cena looked. You're it's like, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? I mean, it does get better. Basically, they all had the same face. The only way you could tell people apart is by the attire itself. They essentially all had the same face. I mean, I don't know. At least they kind of had a semi-accurate arena. Yes, it's like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. What in the hell is this? I mean, this was a thing. This is Batista. I didn't realize Batista was so fat. And yes, they pretty much all walk out the same. Yeah, they literally have the same fit. The only way you can tell them, like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I get that you want to sell on everything, but are you really trying to tell me that they did not look at it to say, you know, this is probably just not good. This doesn't really represent our brand. And like, it's you touch with your phone and have at it. I get it for a kid. They wouldn't mind it. They see the words John Cena and Batista, they'll just play it, not really looking. But it's like, what the hell is this? But yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you that. And one more thing, as I said, this is the final SmackDown vs. Raw game to be on the DS. So I just want to show you the gameplay. I haven't really showed you the gameplay of the SmackDown vs. Raw series on the DS around. Just want to show you how this was. Again, this was not made by Ukes, by the way. So it was a completely unique story to it. Using some cards to boost your superstar. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. There was a match type that was only unique to this game, and for years it will only be tied to this game. But Batista without knee pads looks disgusting. He looks fat. I know, it's crazy. The knee pads made it different. He looks fat without the knee pads. Batista is normally ripped. I mean, they had a decent roster size. 30 people on the DS isn't like. They had a decent roster size for it. Just showing you that again. And it's so crazy how the DS version was more accurate to the actual superstars in terms of detail and actual entrance than the iPhone version. I get the iPhone wasn't that powerful, but it's like, come on. Can y'all at least try? At least he looks way closer to John Cena than like Randy Orton. I mean, this is actually almost a very accurate Randy Orton for a DS game. It's not that bad. And just again, let's just quickly show you the gameplay. I mean, again, for you out and about and you not be able to play the console version, this is back in the day where The Steam Deck did not exist, so you cannot play console stuff on the go. Really, for the most part. So, just for a handheld, just out and about when you're at school or whatnot, this was the best way to play. And again, I played the hell out of SmackDown Raw 2008 on the DS. I always enjoy my time on that. The controls kind of sucked, but I made it work. And yep, this was the last version of in terms of DS. All Stars would come out on the 3DS, which is part of the reason why, and it basically looked like the PS2 version, which is why I do not understand how could they not handle SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 on the 3DS. That never made any sense to me. They could at least release that on the 3DS, but they did not. Now, the one thing I want to talk about as we move forward, again, we're going through everything before we get to the main portion, which is Story Designer. There was actually no DLC for SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, but there was a pre-order bonus. So I guess in a sense, this was DLC. If you actually pre-ordered the game, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin, and available at launch. Now, this has nothing really to do with WWE games. This is more of a broader issue with games in general. When they do DLC, could be a good thing. It adds to your game. But what I will always despise, little rant, what I will always despise is pre-order DLC, because it literally makes no sense. They are insulting your intelligence, and they're basically screwing you out of content that's already in the game. What do I mean, for those who are unaware? When there's launch day DLC, essentially, what is DLC is content that was already in the game on the disc. They decide to lock it out of the disc. For you to unlock that part of the disc, you have to either type in in this case, in a special code. And once you do that, it unlocks it from the disc and you're good to go. Stone Cold was already in the game for SmackDown Raw 2010. They purposely locked him out for you to pre-order the game, and they treat him as DLC. So you can play as him. I know that for a fact because in Story Designer, had you not unlocked him, he's still available in Story Designer. You physically see him there in Story Designer, even if you didn't have the DLC. So luckily I did buy him, but it's just the point is, for people who want to play this game today, you literally can't play as Stone Cold, even though he's in the game. He's literally there. He's just inaccessible unless you obviously hack the game, which no regular person wants to do that. But this is a broader problem than just WWE games. It's just pre-order bonus DLC is just the most stupidest thing ever, and because it's already there. Like even the current games, who is the pre-order bonus? Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is already on the disc. He's already in the game. It's not like they added him a month later. He's already there. They're making you pre-order it just for you to unlock him. And again, unfortunately, because the servers are down, there's no way you can even buy the DLC anymore. For those who did not buy Steve Austin back then, you can never play as him if you ever buy a copy of SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. It's like, that's the pros and cons of DLC. If you don't buy it at the time, you're pretty much screwed in the future unless you somehow find a hack or something. Luckily, Game Frags, or whatever it's called, FAQ, I'm just gonna call it Game FAQ. They have save files, except for the Xbox 360 version. So if you have a PS2 and PS3 and you download that save file, you can actually play as Stone Cold. So just letting you guys know there. One more thing I want to show you guys before we get to Story Designer is, it segues into another part. There was a new thing besides Story Designer that they added, which was Superstar Thread. So again, wrestlers, we're going to use the most practical example possible. You know how you can change superstars' attires? This was essentially the bare bones version of it. It started, a lot of stuff pretty much started in this game in terms of creations. So, you know, everyone loves Rey Mysterio, the Master of 619. He always changes his attire, so obviously it sucks when you come with the game and his tire is already outdated. Luckily, you can now update it, at least unfortunately. I mean, again, this is the first iteration of it. You can only change the colors of their attires. You couldn't completely take them off unless you like hack the game, but Now I can update them. So purple on one side, green on the other, mask design, blue. You love it. Again, you could just pretty much now do whatever. Now you have a slightly updated Ravens here. I don't know where I'm going with this. But at least they gave you a lot to work with. So now you can always have your superstar look different. You have to play as the same version of him. So, and people really like this to the point where there was a shout out to this guy. The SmackDown Hotel actually has a dedicated section for superstar threads. And this guy, credit to him, he is a he did the work for us. So he made accurate attires for everyone, just simple 1-minute videos. So instead of you thinking about it, if you wanted the current day John Cena at the time, the orange stuff and whatnot, there you go. The simple stuff like that. So yeah, people really took that seriously. What's up, Mustafa? Again, we're going through everything before we get into a story designer. Kind of is gonna take up a big portion, so I just want to get everything out the way or get there. How is your day going? What is your favorite memory about SmackDown versus Raw 2010? The cut content. So, in terms of the prototype, there was just one prototype version of this game. I mean, it's not really much. They were still using the loading screen from SmackDown versus Raw 2009, and that's pretty much it. The only noteworthy thing about the cut content is Vicky Guerrero. So, even though she was pretty much on screen throughout the 2 years, like she became a main character on the SmackDown side, she was not in the game. But there is a unused file for her in the game. But if you actually activate, if you mod it and you try to look into it, it just shows this image. She was supposed to be in this game. She wouldn't properly be a playable character until 2 years later. But she, and it makes me wonder. That does make me wonder. Were they going to use that same model that they had in WWE 12 minus the attire, I believe. And as I said, there's version differences. Essentially, if you had the PS2 or Wii versions, you got limited stuff. The logo, you didn't get the logo paint tool, community creations. You got online because of PSP, the training mode on the title screen, the highlight reels, and the downloadable content, which was the Stone. Actually, you couldn't get Stone Cold Steve Austin if you had the PS2. My apologies. And as I said, there was a Road to WrestleMania suit in the game that, because of the new engine, it doesn't show up in the PS2, the Wii or PSP version. You're wearing a tuxedo suit instead of the actual chicken suit, so there's that. And then the PSP is just like I felt bad. I feel bad for people who are playing these games at this point in PSP. You were getting the beta versions of this game. But I get it. Just pick up. I mean, you just take it on the go, so that's perfectly fine as well. So there's that in terms of cut content. IGN pretty much had a article just showcasing the differences in consoles. Essentially, for a long story short, they the best versions of the games, the Xbox 360 in order: Xbox 360, PS3, PS2, the Wii, and then the DS. Although I feel like DS should be at least higher, a tad bit higher, because it's not a bad game. I only bring this up because I only showed this article because I did not realize this guy didn't have PS3. This was the first game where you can actually upload highlight reels directly to YouTube. There was a special feature only in the PS3 version. I think because of the way the PS3 worked itself, your highlight reel videos can be directly uploaded to YouTube. So at least the PS3 had that feature. The roster for this game was something special. I feel like it was a solid roster. We'll go through it. For Raw, you had Batista, Beth Phoenix, Big Show, Carlito, the last appearance of Carlito, by the way, Chavo Guerrero, until, Jesus Christ, this is the last appearance of Carlito until 2K25? 4 or 5? 4 or 5. I think I want to say it's good Lord. For 20, thank you, Slay. I was drawing a blank. I knew it was one of them. It was 50-50, yeah. Kyle Guerrero, Cody Rhodes, Evan Bourne, officially a part of the roster instead of DLC. Festus, last time because he becomes Luke Gallows in the next game. Gail Kim, I believe Gail Kim's in 2011 as well. Hornswoggle, the debut of Jack Swagger, JBL. I believe it's JBL's last game. I don't think he's in SmackDown vs. Raw 7 and SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. I do believe he's in 12 as DLC, but I don't think he's in SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Could be wrong though. John Cena, Kelly, Kofi Kingston, Mark Henry, Maurice, Mickey James, Mr. Kennedy. The last game I believe that had Mr. Kennedy. MVP, Primo, Randy Orton. I had debut Primo as well. And I find how, so it's like he debuts, but his brother leaves. Santino Marella, Shawn Michaels, Ted DiBiase, Brian Kendrick under the Brian Kendrick gimmick, The Miz, Triple H. So that's it for Raw. SmackDown, you had Chris Jericho, CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, Edge. Eve Torres makes her debut. Finley, final appearance of Finley, I believe. Final appearance of Jeff Hardy until 2K19. We'll talk about how they 2K18. Correction, 2K18. Well, we'll talk about the controversy of that, how they decide to go about the Hardy Boys there when we get to it. Jesse, John Morrison, JTG, Kane, Maria. I believe it's the last game appearance of Maria as well. I don't think she was in 2011. Matt Hardy, Melina, Michelle McCool, Mike Knox. Was Mike Knox in SmackDown vs. Raw 2011? Maybe. Natalia, debut of R-Truth, even though he was K-Quick in the Raw all the way back in 2002, which, I mean, so unless you played on Xbox, this is pretty much your first way of playing R-Truth. Or Ron Killings, basically, in general. Rey Mysterio, Chad, the Great Khali, last appearance of Great Khali, and last appearance for Brian Kendrick for a while. And yeah, you're right. Until 2K18. Damn. 2K18 as well. Umaga. Also the last appearance of Umaga. I don't think Umaga's in 2011. So Jesus Christ, this is the last appearance of Umaga until 2K25. Good Lord. No, I'm lying. Is it 2K25 or 2K20? Yeah, I think it is 2K25. Unless he came back in 2K22, I just do not remember. But Undertaker as well. ECW, the debut of the Bellas. The return of Christian. Ezekiel Jackson, debut of him. Return of Goldust. So Brie Bella, Nikki Bella. Shelton Benjamin's back because he was not in 09 from what I remember. Tommy Dreamer, Vladimir Kozlov, William Regal. This was the final ECW roster. You wonder how the final ECW roster looked? This was it. This was the Hall of Fame lineup right here. Great went over to Divas, the Legends, Bob Orton. I think this is like the first and last time you get Bob Orton in a video game. Dusty Rhodes for a while. $1 Million Man, Mr. McMahon, Stone Cold, 22 is DLC from Maka. I said it was either 22 or 25. I just forgot. I knew it was one of them though. The Rock and Trish Stratus. The extras green and red, even though I'm like 90% sure in the strategy guide they were classified as legends. DLC, despite the fact that he's literally in the game, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And in terms of the soundtrack, as I said, I have no issue with this soundtrack. I love Skillet. I love Hero Monster. I love him. All these songs, and actually, I'm a huge fan of this song, Still Unbroke. I play this all the time on my Apple Music. My issue with this soundtrack, I just feel like it was coinciding with the pay-per-view songs. Normally, that was not the case. And I swear I'm not crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Slade, is this song not in 2K18? Because once I heard it in 2010, I was like, wait a minute. I swear to God, this is the opening. Every time you load up your game in 2K18, it's this song. So this is the first song. I thought when Worlds Collide was the first song that they reused twice in the series. I am like 90% sure this is the same exact song 2K18. Once we get there, I guess I'll find out. But yeah, I am positive this song is in 2K18. But yeah, the soundtrack is not as strong because again, you already heard. I like the soundtracks where they don't play them on TV, so you can only listened to them or experienced it if you're a wrestling fan, because back then Apple Music and Spotify wasn't that. When did Apple Music start? Basically, just listen to the music here. The fact that these are already songs, either as pay-per-views or in terms of Invincible, I think was the intro for Superstars at the time. I already heard them. It's fine. This was pretty much the lowest of the list for me when it comes to soundtracks in a wrestling game for a SmackDown versus Raw series. So, yeah. There's that. And one final thing I wanted to show you, because this is kind of what I like to call foreshadowing. So THQ posts $900 million in full year sales. This was actually a loss for the first time in 13 years. They actually saw a decline. And this is foreshadowing the events that will be happening in just a few short years. But despite their loss, their biggest sellers, SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, shipped 4 million units. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 alone, in about less than 6 months, because it came out November. Oh no, in exactly 6 months they shipped over 4 million units. So, despite the fact that THQ was taking a loss at the time, they had their moneymaker with SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. If only we knew this was going to be the start of what would happen years later. So yeah, just want to get that all out the way, because we are pretty much, the rest of the stream, we are going to be sinking our teeth into the main selling point of this mode. Now, there is so much to talk about. Story designer. I'm going to show you the mode, and then we're going to play. Yeah, so story designer. You can save 10 creative stories. Yep. So, where do I begin? So you see all these blank things, you could fill them up. Unfortunately, you could not create your own show. That will not happen until years later with universe mode, but we'll get to that when that comes. You can essentially create your show. They just pretty much just throw you to the wolves. Unless you want to look at tutorial of some video, they pretty much throw you to the wolves. So create your show. You have your months. You can see right there the pay-per-views at the bottom. Unfortunately, you couldn't change them, which is fine. It's the first version of it, so I expected that. We're going to start with Raw and simple edit. And now, as simple as this, you either add, you may seem like it's just bare bones as that. It's when you get into this, you're going to realize there's a lot more to it than that. We're going to play a scene. Now you already see there's a cutscene right here. That's just playing out. No text, nothing. That's one of hundreds of cutscenes that you can do. But since the start of the show, we're actually going to start with the opening. Back then, they only had these options, even though in later games, they added pretty much every arena. So you can start off Raw at the beginning of the show, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Start off just like this. Going to change the location. But what you could do, which was very cool, you can add text. You can have someone talking, one of the commentators, either Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler. For the sake, Michael Cole, we'll pick him. I'm not going to type it out. Well, I mean, I guess I could. Just welcome to Raw. I spaced it down. Okay, so just do that, and then you have 3 dialogue boxes right there. You can have an entrance video for some reason playing if you really wanted to. It'll be playing on the screen right there. You see in the background. Sound, which I'm not going to add because of copyright reason. But then the big thing is the camera. So you can actually change. There's a cool thing. You could either use the preset one or have it at a certain angle. So when I say like, again, you had so much control, you can have stuff at a certain angle. If I wanted this scene to be like right here for some reason, right here, more accurate, boom. So yeah, that start. I don't believe oh, actually, yes, I think you can. Oh, so you can add more than one thing. I didn't even realize that. So now I'm going to start it. Let's see. We're going to start all the way up here. How do I zoom out? Okay. We're gonna zoom out right here. We're going all the way up top on this angle. Boom. So now the full preview of this. Let's go to play. Starts right here. Starts right here. I know, crappy camera angle, but the point I'm trying to get at, and then you can add the end of the show logo if you really wanted to, you know, despite the fact the show started. Oh, that was very interesting. Boom. Next cutscene. You can start at the commentary desk, just talking, just like how the actual real life show would start. You can actually, again, you're not confined with just these two people. You can actually switch it to literally whoever you want. Like literally anyone, and also people you can't actually play as, like the referee. So if you wanted the referee to talk, there's the op. Like again, this stuff is so cool. Like who actually, now I think about who are the other options. So you have Justin. So this is the way if you want to play as these people: Justin Roberts, Lillian Garcia, Matt Stryker, Michael Cole, pretty much all the commentators and ring announcers. Referee Shane. I don't think Shane's a wrestler, so yeah. And as I said, Stone Cold was accessible in this mode. Taz, Todd Grisham, Tony. Oh, Tony was actually ECW ring announcer. Huh, interesting. You might create a wrestler, but unfortunately, the only drawback is you can only have 10 scenes or 10 stuff period, whether it's a scene or a match where we create a superstar, and basically you have to keep creating new stories. So that's the only drawback with create a superstar. I believe in later games they took out the limited, yes, even a random doctor, which I think they reused in SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, by the way, one of the story modes. So stuff like that. Boom, advanced editor, just change the camera angle, the cast, all that good stuff. And then I just want to show, I don't know if this is the one where he actually could have a title. Oh yes, in ring gear. I don't know if you can, I don't think this one you can have a title yet. In later versions, which I will show you, you can actually so the cool thing about this, I see this animation right here is in the ring. However, you can actually change the location. So you're not confined to Raw. You can change the ECW. Or you can actually have the same exact scene backstage in the GM office of Raw. I love how they did not include ECW. They said screw them. What is the actual difference between the Raw and SmackDown backstage offices? Let me see. Oh wow, so Undertaker's in the silhouettes. That's how you know there's a difference. Okay, that's funny. So like, there's so many cutscenes. So for, again, all this could happen in like the backstage area, right here, if you really wanted to, or certain stuff at least. You have a pure black room, pure white room, depending on the situation. But here's Edge attacking you. There's one. Let's see. Stuff that I don't recall. Car explodes. This is always a good one to see. Like, so much stuff. What else? Commentary. Congrats. It's for divas. What is rejection? Mickey James and Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler. I guess that's it. I'm pretty sure you can have this pretty much in any location. Yeah, you can pretty much have this in any location the way it's positioned. So you can have this in the parking lot. What else? Again, they add much more stuff in the next game, but for the foundation of this was not bad. There's so much stuff like stable talk. So again, I kept showing only 2 superstars, but with the stable, you can have 3, and I believe actually 4. There's Jack Swagger. Why is Jack Swagger part of Legacy. I guess if there was 4 members of Legacy, Jack Swagger would be a part of it, sure. And this is how people created their stories. Wish they would add it back. I just don't know why they won't add it back. Yeah, like, I don't know why Jack Swagger is here. That is absolutely hilarious. And sure, we'll add that part. And then when you add a match, sure, match type. Pretty much everything's here. Yes, you even have Elimination Chamber. Now, actually, that's interesting. Is the elimination, because normally at this point, the Elimination Chamber is tied to the certain arena. We're gonna play this to see if it actually is on Raw, even though you probably can't tell. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna play this right here. Let's just play it. Can I just end? Can I save it? Or can I preview it? I can save it, right? Yeah, in order to preview, you must save it first. Sure, whatever. I'm their loyal bait. That's funny. Let me see something. It'll be interesting because normally the Elimination Chamber was tied. So you see like the text right there. Normally the Elimination Chamber was tied to that year's pay-per-view. So in this case, it should be No Way Out. Yeah, I added the end of the show graphic, even though I knew the show wasn't ending. That would actually be very interesting to see. Referees talking. Everything's all over the place here. I believe Jack Swagger's talking now. He wanted to add text. AI controlled match, and sit back and just watch the match. Nope. So I knew it. It defaulted. I'm about to say there's no way they programmed it to where it could be any arena. So nope, they defaulted. Even though this is Monday Night Raw, they defaulted straight to No Way Out, as I expected. So there's that. I believe there's some preset stories that are here, so I'm curious to see what they were. I've never played them before. I think there are some. Let me see. I'd X me out the whole thing. Jesus Christ. Unless that's in 2011. Yep, I knew it. So there's 2 pre-made ones and there's a locked version of it. I don't know what the locked one is. So let's just see what Captain Extreme is and just play it. I'm not gonna spoil myself. Let's just see what they made for Christian. Jack Swagger's in the ring. He's not in the ring though. I don't see him. They should have had a better camera angle. They probably should have positioned it at like the ring announcer's table. I think I know what the lock. What's the lock one? I have no idea. This is new stuff to me. Finally, I want to make it clear that at No Way Out, I will destroy you. Is this Christian's Road to WrestleMania? And I'm going to guarantee it right now by getting rid of that troll son of yours. Who's he talking about? Horns. Oh, he's talking to Finley. Now the entrance plays, and I'm assuming here comes Christian. Yep. It did call Captain Extreme. I have no, again, this is my first experience with this story, so I have no idea what's happening. Oh, wait a minute. Is this how Christian, I don't recall this how Christian came back. Really? I know he came back to confront Jack Swagger, but I don't think it was like this. Slade, are you aware of how this happened? I actually do not remember it had anything to do with Finley and Hornswoggle. I think he just beat like Matt Hardy or something. No, yeah, I think after he beat Matt Hardy, then Christian came back, right? Am I tripping? I see here the chance of Christian. That's cool. What I want is your ECW championship. I am a prodigy in the business, Christian. If you're half as smart as you think, and you are, I can't see because my thing is blocking it. You'll run far away from me. Why is Shane here on behalf of the entire WWE? It's great to have you out. Yeah, this did not happen at all. But the fact of the matter is superstars have to earn title opportunities. Not really anymore. you're going to do just that. You're going to have a non-title match. But this did happen in real life, though. He did beat Jack Swagger, and then Jack Swagger beat him, and then Christian eventually beat him for the title. And he pretty much held that title until the end of ECW. Yes, he dropped it to Tommy Dreamer because he was doing a retirement angle. But I distinctly remember Christian pretty much once he had the ECW title, he was essentially the champion until the end of the show. But good old Ezekiel Jackson won the final ECW title. So it told you what Vince McMahon thought about the brand by then. They could at least, I never understand that. They could at least, man, that makes me so mad. Again, I was a fan of ECW. I know people hate it. I had no, again, I like different stuff. I'm a fan of stuff that's different. ECW was a different show. If you were tired of seeing John Cena, there's ECW. It was pretty much their precursor to NXT because, again, you had people like Jack Swagger, Sheamus. Those people come up. They repackaged Zack Ryder. But people actually liked him now instead of just being one of the edge heads. Like, ECW worked. Like, for that hour of television, it worked. I think Hurricane was on here at one point. I feel like they put Christian on just to make it feel more relevant, which is a good call because, like, I liked his stuff and I like his rivalry with Shelton Benjamin. That ladder match at TLC was like the best match of that entire show. Like him and Shelton Benjamin was putting on bangers. Then his rivalry with William Regal, all that good stuff. Yeah, am I hearing a "Let's Go" Swagger? Yes, this was before you can put them on top of the turnbuckle. You only had a limited amount of moves. When you put your opponent at the turnbuckle, you couldn't just put him up there. How do they keep blocking? The locked one, you'll get a Santino Marella story designer. Create. So if okay, that's interesting. I mean, you can tell me what it's about. It's probably, I'm not going to ever get it no time soon. So if you know about the story, well, what is it about, if you don't mind me asking? I just want to do my finisher. I just want to, or I can just hit the kill switch. Hit the switch. Kill switch. Why am I going for a submission? I was trying to drag him. Oh, for God's sakes. Control types. No. This is what I was looking for. Okay, advanced control. Strike. How do you drag? Okay, hold B. That's a very weird position, but okay. That's a very weird combination just to drag your opponent. I mean, to be fair, the current games aren't any different, but it is what it is. Come on. I'm about to say, yeah, you can pull back now. So you should be fine. I do wonder, is this the last game where the ECW Extreme Rules match is tied to the ECW Arena? Because again, it's Val Santino saying he is unbeatable, which you just play as him in that story. Interesting. Okay. I don't recall ever unlocking that as a kid, though. That's fascinating. I genuinely do not remember any of that. At least when they reverse it, they don't take your finisher. So I'll give them that. Oh, come on. So if I grab him, I could have done my... That makes no sense. See, that I'm so glad he changed it in 2011. That makes no sense to me. If I grab him, I can do my finisher, but if he's just standing there, I can't do my finisher. Make it make sense. Tap. Yeah, he doesn't have a combo, so you're pretty much screwed. But he does have springboards. I actually forgot. There we go. Can't believe we're getting a Let's Go Swag again. That is actually wild. Even though he was a heel. Again, Jack Swagger was a good... Not like he was a bad wrestler by any means. Why is he getting out the ring? Huh. That's actually interesting. Is he that smart where he knows not to get hit with my finisher? That's interesting. Get back in the ring, you piece of crap. I'm going to hit my finisher on you one way or another. Mike. What's up, Mike? Were you not here earlier? Or that was someone else that added your name. No, Michael. So there was a Michael who was here earlier. I was about to say. Thanks for stopping by. We are going through every WWE game of how we got 2K26. I know I tend to repeat that a lot, but for new people, just want to make sure you're aware of that. We're currently on day 9. Day 9. Or this is either day 9 or 10 because the numbers of the WWE game series gets weird. I believe this is the 10th installment of the series, but I think it's technically 9. Can I do math? Hold on. SmackDown, SmackDown 2, Shut Your Mouth. No, SmackDown. Oh, about to lose. SmackDown, SmackDown 2, Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain. SmackDown vs. Raw 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wait, this is the 11th installment. Is it? Am I tripping? Are we at 11 now? Wait a minute. Did I just... Dude, hold on. I gotta. Which number installment is this? Did I just miscount? The original SmackDown 2, Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown vs. Raw 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh crap! We're on the 11th installment. My numbers are way. Oh come on! Hit the switch. You see, it makes no sense. I can grab him and hit the finisher. But he can't just stand there and take the finisher? Makes no sense.
1, 2, 3.
And then Christian won. I wonder... Why not say one of the match highlights so I can... Oh, I really like... See, this is so cool. I really like this. How is this not in the current games? Who knows? It's specific moves. Like there's normally you only get like 6 options. In the current games, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get 10 options. Why don't they give you more variety? And you can pretty much edit on the fly right there, but we'll just save one of them. I didn't even realize you get that many options in this version. It's 6 random ones, even though it's mostly all signatures and like specific dies here, but at least there's 10. I'd rather have 10 than 6, or sometimes 5. I'm curious, yeah, Christian is now your #1 contender. Yeah, you gotta beat the champion to become #1 contender for the title. I know it's a joke that Vince McMahon hated Christian, but you gotta look at his first year back in the company. He gave him the ECW title. He pretty much let him run the brand. Hello again, man. I remember those. Those are good to have those highlights. No, it's just the well, first of all, thanks for stopping by again, Gaijin. And second, the fact that there were so many more options for highlight reels here than in the current games. You'll be lucky if you get 6. Normally you get only like 4 or 3. Depending on how long the match, you could have a long match and give like 3 or 4. They just gave you 10 right there, right off the bat. Again, I have my personal thoughts of how they treat legacy features, how Visual Concept currently treats the legacy features of these of this stuff. But when the All American wins, best that went. That means Swagger will face Christian over the ECW title match next week. But what is your memory of SmackDown vs. Raw 2010? What were your thoughts of story design, which was essentially the main selling point of this game? I know people don't like Just Close Your Eyes, the new version that they did for it. I like both equally. Yeah, I know you're not hearing about it just now. I'm seeing Chris. Yeah, Just Close Your Eyes. Hello, Butler. What's up, man? Yeah, what's your favorite? What is your favorite memory of SmackDown vs. Raw 2010? Thanks for stopping by. And then Mark Henry. Yeah, I forgot Mark Henry was pretty much briefly on EC. He was ECW champion. Crap. Damn, you're right. Mark Henry was ECW champion. I guess I could play as Finney a little bit. Oh, and another thing, I just realized. You see that the HUD that the Superstars had? It's so frustrating to me, man. I swear. Stuff like this frustrates me. My name is Finley. I love to fight. Stuff like this frustrate me. The HUD of this, it's like they put it in the perfect position. It's not taking up the actual screen. It's under the Superstar. Who cares? Why is the current game they decided we're just gonna have it all at the bottom, take up space? Like, this is like a minimalist design. How is it that a game from 2009 understood minimalist designs and like, so it doesn't take away everything? The presentation, like, it's not even noticeable unless you're actually looking at it. Is this the one with Randy Orton, Road to WrestleMania? Those are pretty. Yeah, this was 09 Viper, technically. Yeah, this was technically 09 Viper before 09. No, this was 09 Viper before he was. It was funny how like the game obviously was in development before, like pretty much most of 2009. So it's like they really made Randy Orton be crazy in this one. RK owning his own father. Spoilers if you haven't played. For those who are currently watching, it's just some fun stuff. But yeah, like little stuff like this just annoys me with the current games. Like, it's not intrusive at all. It's just right there. But yet, Christian, hit him again. Yeah, I'm about to say, hit him again. Randy hates old men. Oh, he really does. Oh yeah, new pin system. Yep. So obviously people are used to, or not. Before we had like the circle and button mashing stuff. It pretty much started right here where you would hold and hit. It started right here. And then again, they share it. I wish they would go back to this design. Those stupid HUDs. I get now, like there's so much stuff to pay back and whatever, but it could be right here. I don't need to see it at all times. The name of the Superstar and whatever. You just put it right under him and then show when the payback's available and call it a day. How hard is that? I know I'm asking for too much. But just how hard is stuff like that? I mean, as we're on the topic of Road WrestleMania, what was everyone's favorite Road WrestleMania in this game specifically? As I said, for me, it was the Creative Wrestler one because I just felt like it was very grounded. It was very grounded. It didn't feel like you were just another guy fighting for the world title. They made it realistic. You're just a fan, and you somehow became a wrestler. Because I don't blame. Yeah, it's just simple stuff. Like again, I could go on a rant forever. Despite the fact that I buy these games every year, I still have my frustration. The circle system is sick for sure. Shows just enough from exactly like I don't need to know Superstar name. I'm pretty sure I know who Randy Orton and John Cena is. Thank you for telling me. I don't need to see the finisher thing right on screen. I can see it. The signature, same thing. Like I can see it. And it wouldn't even be that hard. I can already see the design. You see like how it's blue right there? I know the submission and finishers are two stuff now. I understand that part. All they have to do is just have it color coded. The top part is blue for the submission, and then the bottom part is yellow for the finisher. You can just color code it, and you can see the bar go up. Edge Road Wrestling is my favorite in this, and that was the one, man. Basically, let's play Santino. Play Santino's story as a call was so good. Yeah, like I said, the developers know how to write stories in these games. original stories, because they're wrestling fans. It just made sense. All right. Mark Henry just taking the sweet ass time. And then, like I said, I already talked about like Mickey James' story. It's fascinating how like developers like, what if there was a women's Royal Rumble? I know that's like far fetched and crazy. Little did they know, less than a decade later, that would happen. What if women main evented WrestleMania and whatnot? I don't think Mickey James main event WrestleMania, but like they were just taking it seriously. Like, what if there was a Raw women's main event? All that good stuff. It finally happened here. The developers believed that would happen before WWE would actually pull the trigger. Took them about 9 years to do it, but... And I pinned the champion. But this is, honest to God, playing story designer right here. They need to bring it back. I know there's practical issues with bringing back story designer with the current climate and how everything's positioned, blah, blah, blah. But they need to bring this back because this will pretty much create free DLC every single day. What do I mean? Because everyone has a different story to tell with certain superstars, right? People say it will be redundant universe mode. I don't think that's the case, because universe mode is your own personal sandbox. Story designer is for everyone to experience, and that's why you would upload it to community creation. That's why they allow you to do it in the very first game. You can create your own story, put up on community creation. Now people have free DLC every single day. Your game is always going to be fresh. You have a new story to play. It's just simple stuff like this. That's why I think to the point where they even added, this is the only game in the SmackDown vs. Raw series that started, even though 09 started the DLC, 10 didn't have it. Because I think they were so confident. This was my personal opinion. They were so confident in the story designer thing that there was no need for DLC. This was the DLC content. It was user generated stuff, and it worked. We'll find out now. Yes, can I beat Jack Swagger 3 times? We shall see. Why is Jack Swagger in a black room? I guess this is their way of doing promos. That's funny. Did they not have a backstage area yet? I guess they didn't have a backstage area yet. That was added in 2011. Who would have thought? It was added in 2011. I wonder, how long does this story go? Oh, they make me play as Jack Swagger. I knew it. They make me play as Jack Swagger. I was about to say, I'm about to just beat Christian. So there's more. I like that. They threw me a curveball there. I was like, oh, I guess when I play as Christian, just win my ECW title, complete the story. Nope. I think they're doing a abridged version of what happened in real life. I know Jack Swagger beat him the first time. Again, I was the ECW mark back then, so I knew everything that happened on ECW. They're just doing a bridge version of that. But yeah, it's just, they need to add backstory designer. I know part of the reason why they want to add it, because fortunately we have a group of fans that will do certain stuff that will ruin stuff for everything. What do I mean? They're going, if you let them do that, we're going to have storylines that are, let's just say, not appropriate. Or not, it's not even that it's not PG, it's just people are very deranged and they're going to do stupid stuff. They can't just be normal people. So I know the reason why they won't bring it back, but still, you can put restrictions in place. Because people always complain about there's nothing to do in the game after like the first month's DLC until the DLC comes out, but with this, literally, it would be brand new stuff every single day instead of the stupid collectible card game that they put in. What is Jack Swagger's abilities? Lockpick, hammer throw, object durability, pullback attack, and strong strike. Okay. There we go. And that comes in handy. It's like I would rather have this. I would, if they if they were to add this back and have it in community creations, I would literally be on the game every single day, just playing it just for fun. I like to see what everyone else thinks and of their stories. Oh, this was the dynamic camera angle stuff I was talking about. How since I'm on this side now the camera goes this way. We don't even get this view anymore. Actually, that's very fascinating. We don't even get this view anymore of the announce table. That's so cool. You only get the side or the ramp now. I mean, you got the third person point of view. Like they made it like GTA basically. Oh yeah, I believe this is the last. Yep. It's gonna feel a lot different tomorrow because this is the last game and not have physics, because starting with the next game. Why is he jabbing me like that? That's so funny. You know, I swear I was reversing it. We're gonna have some physics. And stuff's gonna get crazy. How does he already have a signature before me? To be fair, I don't remember. And you can grab the ring bell for the title if it's on the line. You're right. You're right. Back, it took them. You know how long? It's so great. It's funny that you mentioned that. Actually, this year's game was the first time in a long time you could grab a title. Correct? Why did it take them so long to add back titles? Like, see, boom, right here, and it's actually the correct title. 2K26 was the first time in a very long time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where you can actually grab your title. I know you still can't grab the ring bell to this day, which makes no sense. I can be in the crowd, I can do all this stuff next to the table, but I can't grab a stupid ring bell. What? It's like I can't. And more I talk about the current game, it's just frustrating because like again, it's like two people. I know there's more to make a game. It's like two companies making two different things in the same game. They can't decide on what they want it to be. It just frustrates me. Like, they have all it takes to be the perfect wrestling game. It's right there, but they're wasting their time. Imagine if the resources that they put into My Faction the Island was put towards, I don't know, universe mode. You know how crazy that would be? People would never complain. But hey, I'm not a developer. I'm just a fan who pays every year. I like to think, for playing since the original game back in 2000, that I have an idea of what, not just what I want, but what other wrestling fans will want in the game. I would like to think that. No, it's hold B and then you can drag them. Okay. And 2K14, I think, was the last time we can grab the ring bell. Gee, how interesting. The last game you could do that was before Visual Concepts came in. You know, you were still developing at the time, but that's just, I find that fascinating. Very fascinating.
1, 2, 3.
And Jack Swagger wins. So I actually am curious how this story plays out. Is it gonna be just like real life? They do an Extreme Rules match. Welcome to ECW. What? No intro. Time limit, but it was Swagger. Yep. 6-man tag. Proceed to win the next one by having the Miz win. Oh, proceed to next one by having the Miz win. Miz shouldn't even be on this goddamn show. Why is Miz on this show? He shouldn't even be on here. He was too busy on Raw losing to John Cena. When he came back. I know. I was about to say, he was tag team. It was the undisputed tag team titles. He was like, well, he was correction. by the time this game came out, yeah, he was the Undisputed Tag Team Champion. I'm not tripping. There's no reason for him to be on ECW. I know they did that whole talent exchange because essentially ECW had no superstars. They said I have to win with The Miz, right? They did say that. But why though? This story's interesting. Is Miz gonna be added to like a triple threat match or something? I don't know. Luckily I didn't spoil myself with the story, so I actually have no idea how this is gonna play out. But luckily for me, I didn't spoil myself. I think this is the last game too to even have Miz look like this. Wow, out of all the personas, you'd think they would bring back classic Miz. Or maybe because Miz don't want people to remember he looked like this. He's wrestling in shorts. Come on. God damn it. I'm about to say, everyone, what the hell was that? He also, John Morrison just break his back. What is Miz's abilities actually? Nope. Just dirty pin, referee shield, ring escape, pullback attack. Let's see if I get near the ref. That's why I misremembered how to use the referee shield because. Okay. Because I was thinking of the 2010 controls instead of the original 2008 versions. They simplified it in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. Should I use Tommy Dreamer? I know this is the last Christian. Why? I was so close to tagging in Tommy Dreamer. Move to the other side, Christian. I want to tag in Tommy Dreamer. This is the last time we'll be using him in the game. Move to the side. Thank you. Oh wait, I'm so stupid. I'm so out of it. Oh my god. I realized he's not in my... I was like, why is he not tagging me in? Because that's not my team. I thought I was the good guys. Wow. I am so sorry. This only happens live. I thought I was on the good side. I was like, why is Tommy Dreamer Christian not tagging me in? I thought we were cool. Oh wait, we're not friends. I'm losing it. I am so losing it. I don't intend to be funny. I genuinely thought I was on the good side for a second. I mean, to be fair, the last 3 matches involved Christian. So I just thought, oh yeah, I should just be on the side of Christian. Why not? What is it? Just his? I know it's Star Champagne. Oh, never mind then. What was his other finisher? I believe it's like that. I forgot what it's called. That's that spinning neckbreaker thing. Damn, what the hell is it called? I know Star Champagne is the corner one. What's this other one? I believe its signature should be. Let's see. Yep, I knew it. His signature was the grounded one. Is this 08 or 09? This is actually 10. But first of all, Jay Liner, thanks for stopping by. We're near the end of the stream, so we're going to be wrapping up soon. I just wanted to showcase Story Designer, one of the preset stories that was made here. But this is a 25-day event. We're going through the history of the games to see how we got to 2K26. So tomorrow, if you're a fan of 2011, we're covering that. We are on day 11 with SmackDown Raw 2010. While I have you here, what is your favorite memory of 2010? If you ever played it. Or you can talk about 08 or 09. We played those the past 2 days. If you actually want to watch them, they are available in a playlist on my channel. Some good conversations in there. My thoughts of 08. I know people love and hate it. I personally loved 08. At 09, as I explained, The issue with 09 is that I feel like they wanted this creation stuff, but they need an extra year to make it. So they put out what they put out in 09, and now 010 was their vision. But now there's really no reason to go back and play 09, because everything that's in 09, minus those 6 superstar Road to WrestleMania stories, is in 010. Like, once you play 010, there's no reason to play 09, but there's always a reason to go back and play 08, the way it's designed. Last Buried Alive match, by the way, in that game, though. And last proper GM mode before the current one that Visual Concepts decided to put out. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock, until we end this event with 2K25. We're going through them all. We're going through them all. I forgot what this is called. I mean, I always liked it, but I just forgot what it was called. Why isn't... I'm about to say, Miz, do your goddamn job and attack these people. Oh, wait, I was supposed to use the Miz. God damn it. I don't think I can even... God damn it. God damn it. I was supposed to use the Miz for some reason. Son of a bitch. They're gonna force me to do the same thing, aren't they? Or I don't think it matters. Oh, I guess not. Maybe it's an alternate. Was there branching paths? I don't think there was branching paths here. They wanted me to use the Miz. I wonder if it was a branching path. I love how I just skipped right back to this. Huh. What would have happened if I would have... So, obviously it didn't make a difference, because... That's interesting, actually. We'll do one more match. I'm curious. I'm actually wondering how this is going to play out. And welcome back to ECW. Shane, you weren't even... Did he even show up on ECW at all? Has Shane McMahon ever in real life showed up on ECW? Outside of the Vince McMahon story. With him, with Do-Rag Vince, the best version of Vince. Has he ever actually showed up on ECW in a authority role? No, so what the hell are you doing here, bro? Face Jack Swagger is an elimination tournament. Yeah, I'm about to say, like... But who was the GM at the time? Tiffany. Why did he not have Tiffany in this game? I mean, to be fair, Drew McIntyre's not in the game. I have almost all of them, but not the PS2 one, or 0809. I have 2010 back. What system did you have it back then? We're playing the Xbox 360 version, if you couldn't tell by the button. I called ECW Chase the Backlash, and that starts tonight. Good night and enjoy. All right. You know, we're just going to play one more match, but, you know, it's Christian. Wait, is he in heaven? I get that. They could have just used the black room, but come on. Did Christian die? All PlayStation and SNES. Okay. Yeah, so my journey for SmackDown versus Raw from the original to 09 was on the PS2. Then I finally 2010. That's why it holds a special place in my heart, I think, because it was the first time I was playing a wrestling game on Xbox 360. Because I loved my PS2, but then once I saw, well, two reasons. They screwed me over with the DLC because I couldn't play as Evan Bourne. It was only on the 360 and PS3. And once I saw the limit of creative story, you only have a limited amount of scenes you can add in matches. I was like, all right, time to officially jump to the Xbox 360 since we didn't have a PS3. We didn't get PS3 to like the end of this cycle, right before the PS4 came out. Of course, my brother got a PS3, but we already had the Xbox 360. I got the Wii U. Side note, why did none of the WWE games ever come out in the Wii U? I was so frustrated. I loved my Wii U to death, but none of them ever came out. It could handle it because it would pretty much, the Wii U games were pretty much actually on par, if not better than the Xbox 360 PS3 game. So it's not like they couldn't handle it. It had the gamepad and Pro Controller. It was a perfect system. I would have loved to play it on the Wii U. But it was not in the cards. They put it on the Switch on 2K18. We saw how that one worked out. I mean, yes, I know it's on the Switch too now. Everything's fine, but like, whew, their first tackle on the Switch was like that. That was rough. I genuinely felt bad for them. I don't know who. It's like, imagine being on the fly on the wall in that conference room talking about the Switch version. I'm assuming someone like they had to show before putting it out there. Like they had to show like the people. All right, this is how the Switch one is running. Someone looked at that and said, "Actually, that looks good. Put it out." Keep in mind, it didn't come out the same time. I don't believe the Switch version came out. I'm like 90% sure the Switch version that come out the same time as the PS4 and Xbox One versions of 2K18. So they had like an extra month or two. They just said, you know what? Yep, that looks good. Put it out. It's hot. 12-13, the best one. Again, someone asked me this yesterday. What is my favorite one to play of all time? If I only had to pick one, WWE 12. I feel like it's the complete package. I love 11. I mean, I love SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 a lot, but I feel like 12 had the best universe mode, and since that has the most replay value, I gotta stick with 12. 13. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about 13. We're going to talk about the infamous bug that pretty much, if it wasn't for that stupid bug, I think people would hold 13 as in a higher regard, more just because of. I mean, obviously people like 13 because of the Attitude Era mode, but I feel like people hold it in a much more high regard if it wasn't for the infamous bug. But there's a reason why they never patched it, because, well, shit hit the fan. Well, we're so close to that. Jesus, Mark Henry, why you keep reversing everything? The funny part is, I believe I only have difficulty on normal, so I don't know how the hell. It's again, it's so frustrating. Like they have I get it. They're different developers. Oh, I haven't finished it now. Cool. They're different developers. I get it. They're not the same people from Ukes, but for God's sakes, can someone just from Ukes throw them a bone? Let them look at the code of the WWE 12 universe mode. Tell them use exactly that with the draft, and you have the perfect universe mode. Right? Like, oh yeah, the Road to WrestleMania. We're gonna be talking about that when we get there. The best road to WrestleMania and the best WWE original story that they ever told in a game. It's so perfect. I might have to do a whole live stream just on that Road to WrestleMania mode eventually, but we're not gonna play all of it tomorrow because we only have so much time. I had to go over. If you're new here, J-Line, I don't know if you were watching just previously, but essentially I just try to showcase everything about the game, my thoughts on it, kind of like a mini documentary-ish, just in live form of these games. So we won't have time to go over the entire WrestleMania, but we're gonna show parts of it. I think mainly the Sheamus one to start out, but it was just so good, so good. But yeah, all they have to do is literally someone from Ukes just give them the code or whatever for the universe mode 12. Add in the draft, how you do the draft now, boom, you have the perfect. I hate the rivalry system is so stupid. It's so stupid. It ruined it because it made everything non-linear. I mean, it made everything linear. I mean, let me rephrase that. By making everything linear in universe mode, you killed the whole reason of universe mode. I should not know what's happening the following week. That's the biggest issue people don't realize. Cause I know people like, oh yeah, the rivalry system, whatever. No, they ruined it. 2K14, as much as people love this game, people tend to forget this is the mode. That is the same game that ruined universe mode. It ruined it because it made it linear. I should not know what's happening every week. I should just be completely blind to what happened. Let the AI, the background stuff tell me, let them do their magic. I wouldn't be surprised. I was surprised when Brock Lesnar showed up. I was surprised when Undertaker was injured in my universe mode for a year, and then he came back after WrestleMania, going against the same person who injured him. Let that crap happen. I shouldn't be knowing what's happening. I shouldn't have control of what happens. If that's the case, just add it back, create a story. I think that's why they did it in the first place, because they knew they were never going to add back, create a story. So they just said, hey, we're just going to put all that stuff, have your creative freedom in universe mode, but it ruins it. It ruins the game. That's why universe mode feels like a chore more than an actual fun playing, in my personal opinion. It peaked in 12. It would have peaked in 13 if it wasn't for the infamous bug. Universe mode basically peaked in 12. They tried. There hasn't been anything that came close to it. That's my personal opinion. It peaked in 12. You will never get experience like that. Universe mode, how it should be. What universe mode should be was in 12. It peaked there. There was some glimmers of hope in like 17 and 19, but it peaked in 12. That's just my personal opinion. All right, I'm just gonna see what happens in the next story. We're not gonna play the match. I'm just curious. But this is a very. This took me in a direction I had no idea it was going. I just assumed Christian was eventually just gonna get his title match back. He has to chase the backlash. Blah blah blah. So this took a direction I did not expect. Actually. Oh, now I'm facing Tommy Dreamer. Alright. Only bad shit now is that you can't re-download DLC. Again, don't get me started on the whole DLC situation. It sucks that, again, I mean, it's not just this game, it's just in general how DLC works, is that you can't... Oh, wait. You say you can't download DLC to another PS3 system? Oh, that sucks. I have a completely different Xbox 360 than what I had before, and I had the DLC. Oh, wow. Then I feel bad for PS3 players then. That is crazy. Wait, are you legit when you say that? You can't, if you don't have your original PS3, you can't download DLC. That's crazy. I'll make sure, did I cover everything? We did the training facility. I mean, did I talk about everything I need to talk about? Oh yeah, creative interest movie. Essentially, yeah, you can use your highlight reel and use it as, so you know how, like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Oh, actually I don't have it. The clip, you can use that clip and you do a combination of clips and you can make it actually your Titantron. If only they would bring that back. Kinda. If only they would actually bring that back. Yeah, you could just use that, whatever, and you could just save it. Man, if only if they would just simple stuff like this that were in these games back in Xbox 360 and PS3. But yet, encoding, yes, it's gonna encode the whole thing. That's funny. If only, like, they would just bring that back. People, simple. The company got it back then, but they don't get it now. It's not like a broken record, but it is what it is. Yeah, if you had it was only gonna be there, but if you have another system, nope, you can't. I think it's not. Is that so? Maybe I can help you out, kind of. Maybe I can help you out. There's on Game FAQ. There's save data's on there. So if you wanted to, so there's a PS3 one. So if you needed a DLC, there was no DLC. It was just Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you didn't get him as a pre-order, you can download it. So you just use that file and then you're good to go. Fortunately, you can't use it on the Xbox 360. It's only for PS3 and PS2. But yeah, that might help you out then. In terms of save stuff, it's on the Game FAQ. As this is encoding. Holy crap, this is taking forever. I apologize, guys. It is not worth show. Oh, come on. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Well, I'll check. Yeah, you can just do that. But hopefully you get the idea. You could just create your intro. I'm gonna make sure, did I cover everything? I know we were in Story Designer. Create a story, whatever you want to call it. I believe the official term is Story Designer. I can upload already. I'm assuming the stuff is still up. I just can't access it because Yep. What are the leaderboards? Overall. Huh. Congratulations. These are the top 3 that maxed it out. Friends. Any of my other friends play this? Oh yeah, I did have some people. Yeah, oh my god. About to make me shed a tear. There was me right there. At least I wasn't last place. At least I was not last place. I can say that. Yes, I had friends. I lost like 15 times. I was much better. I was much better in 2011 and 12. Trust me, online. Those are the last days I played online. I wasn't really an online guy. I was an online guy in Call of Duty, but not in wrestling games. I just normally just kept to myself because people are crazy in online. Because normally I'll just go across the street and play with my friend with these games. I had no problem like not playing online. Yeah, fun fact, the online I think still works for these games on Xbox 360. So if you could find someone playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, have at it. Oh yeah, forgot create a finisher, the diving. We'll just show this real quick. I knew there was one more thing I was missing. Damn, I did all that. Moveset online is not a thing because spammers is not. I know, like I said, that's why I stopped playing after 12. I had fun. Like I think I was undefeated when it came to Money in the Bank matches. I never lost a Money in the Bank match online. But yeah, I just got tired of it after like people just, you know, they like. That's why I hate just playing these games online. That's why I just normally just play because people just they take the fun out of it. But yeah, the previous game you can only do ground and whip, but now you can do one that's flying, so you just go crazy. And then you can adjust the speed too, so that's also a good thing. And do that. The descent. Yeah. Like just keep going, the most craziest thing possible. I can't do any more. Am I stuck? Oh crap, I'm stuck. Am I? No, then we gotta delete that. No, just it should be on 5. Okay, now we finish. But what the hell? So hold on, but now we gotta go back. Delete. And do another descent. Oh, so you can only go so far. Let's see what I made here. You get the idea. Why can't they bring this back? Who knows? We'll just call it The Original Sin. That's actually a cool name, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually a very cool name. And I think that's pretty much everything that I could possibly show in this. In terms of, I think I covered pretty much all the creative stuff, Superstar. I didn't show the entrance. Pretty much nothing is really much has changed. I mean, you had the advanced entrance editor. The entrance movie is a new thing. I pretty much showed everything that I need to show. Career mode died with this game. Road to WrestleMania, we showed the creative Superstar. Yep, I pretty much showed everything that I needed to show because 2011 onward, we're in a completely different era. So again, SmackDown versus Raw 2010. I really enjoyed the game. I know 11 it blew expectations out the water because of the direction they went with that. But overall, 2010, with the focus, they were confident of the gameplay. They was like, this year we're just gonna focus on the creation stuff. Again, I really feel like this is what they want 09 to be, but they needed an extra year. So 10 was the full vision of this. So I like SmackDown versus Raw 2010. I thought it was a great game. But tomorrow, in the final installment, it kind of like we're circling back to Here Comes the Pain. They had to go off with a bang. I think they knew this name, or whether or not they knew they went as far as they could with the game in terms of name wise, SmackDown versus Raw. They at least when they wanted to end on a high note, and what they did with this game was absolutely incredible. Not only with the new Havoc engine that got introduced in this game, they were able to add physics to it, so everything felt as real as possible in terms of what you did with the weapons. They expanded one of my favorite match types, and then they introduced a mode which to this day is probably the main reason why you still play these games to this day. And we're going to talk about all of that tomorrow with SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. For those who watch live, I appreciate it. Slade, I see Red was here earlier, even before the stream starts, so I appreciate it. Michael, Mustafa, Mike, Butler, Gaijin, and J-Liner. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Back tomorrow with SmackDown vs. Raw 2011.